Hey, this is Jen. I hope everybody's good. I'm here with an energy update. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're not new. Thank you for being here. So, again, lots of things going on, lots of chaos still very present in the world. Many different things, right and left, happening. People are saying a lot of things. It's the beginning of the new cycle. We had a new moon last week, and we are starting or entering the phase of physical integration of this new reality, of all those changes that are already present spiritually. They are making their way down physically so that we can see it through our interactions with others, relationships, business deals, all all aspects of contact with someone else. We're going to start seeing these changes very shortly, always depending on your capacity to integrate those new energies. Not everyone works at the same rhythm and pace, and that's just fine the way it is. Usually, people that are very in tuned with their intuition are already seeing and feeling this. Nonetheless, we still are witnessing this big separation and duality energies. Huge separation of 5D, 3D, call it however way you want to call it. It's just a label. But there is this separation of people who are anchoring that new reality and those who aren't. And for those who aren't, it doesn't mean that you're going to stay there forever. It depends on the decisions and the actions that you're going to make. A part of that group will stay where they are at right now, and will stay like that for the rest of their lives. And that's fine. That's just okay. And others will, move forward and awakened and start seeing things differently. But a lot of people who have been working spiritually and who have been awakened to their own spiritual gifts and their own, perceptions and sovereignty are already anchoring physically those new changes. And that's really hard for the body. When that happens, it usually disrupts our sleep. That's usually when we hear ringing in the ear. That's because our body is getting used to that new vibration. Therefore, all our internal systems and organs are working or starting to work differently at a different vibration, a different level, a different pace. And it's exhausting. We usually tend to be very thirsty because we need to eliminate all those toxins from our cells and tissues. We usually tend to get hungry, especially for fast food, and it's important to resist eating not so good foods and to go towards, good nutrition. This is usually where we see also like high highs and low lows. Like there's duality. There's when you have energy, you have a lot of energy and you need to spend it. And when you don't, you have none. It's time to go sleep, take a nap, or just be a couch potato. And that's normal. That's usually the halfway mark of that cycle. And it usually is a sign that you're going towards the last half of the cycle, which should happen in May. You're going towards like the good side, the easier side, and usually things start to speed up. If you think of a spiral, usually at the beginning of a cycle, if you compare it to a spiral, the circles are bigger, so the inner cycles take longer, and then as you reach the end, it goes faster. So we are going towards the faster inner cycles of this phase, which is good. Already here, they're talking about reopening businesses and trying to support the economy and send kids back to school. And my point in this video is not to question if it's a good idea or not, because I have my opinion on that. And, at one point, I believe that we cannot all stay inside. I mean, life goes on, and we need to do something, and we need to do the right things and protect ourselves in all sense of the word, energetically and physically. So we need to be mindful of every little action that we do when we are out there in a store or going back to work. This is, again, the ultimate call for the Great Awakening. The more people that will be aware of their actions and thoughts, the better the world will be, the better life will be. It's not always easy. Sometimes we're under pressure, under stress, and we kind of disconnect from ourselves, and we lose that awareness of what's going on internally. And this lockdown, shutdown of the world was the perfect opportunity to work on that and to look in the mirror and to understand our thoughts, why we have them, what to do with them and about them, and to deal with them once and for all. That's what spiritual work is to understand what's going on internally, how it reflects externally, and how to decrease the gap in between. It seems fairly simple, but it's not. It takes a lot of energy to do that kind of work, and it takes a lot of patience, compassion, understanding of oneself, of thyself, understanding of others, and a great dose of letting go. Like huge dose of letting go. This shutdown was also a huge exercise of letting go. Let go and trust. Let go and be in total faith that something else is waiting on the other side of this. So, best thing to do right now, listen to your inner experts. We are all called into connecting internally to our internal guidance system, personal GPS, and to follow that. For a lot of people, their mission are getting clearer and clearer, and that is especially true for the divine masculine. It's as if they weren't able to understand it or see it very clearly, and then boom, overnight, they realized, this is why I'm here. This is why I met that person. This is why I had to go through all of that. So a lot, like the majority of the divine masculine are awakening to this. For some, they already know, they're already on their mission, doing their thing. For others, they were resisting, or they were just not seeing it at all, not understanding, and that they had that little step forward to take. And for a lot of them, that step has been taken. So it's the beginning of a new cycle for them as well. And that new cycle implies a lot of self-exploration for them. Not that they haven't been doing that, but they're going to start doing that on a different level now, integrating a larger part of their higher selves, which is good news. And if you are a divine feminine, perhaps you're feeling this. You're feeling these changes inside of you if you're in the twin flame connection. You're seeing your relation to your twin flame connection changing. That's because you're feeling the ripple effect of the changes on the other side of your twin flame connection. You're probably starting to either forgive or understand the other person better, understand what they had to go through to heal and to release, understand why they were resisting, because for a lot of feminine, they just couldn't understand why the masculine was resisting so much. And it is a hard question with millions of answers and reasons. For most, it was fear of the unknown, fear of going into that cave and really, digging out the dirt. And now they're doing so. And they're doing so on a level that has never been touched before for a lot of them. So if you're a divine feminine, standing still, being balanced, aligned, again, I've said that many times before and I'm saying it again, to help with this integration, stay aligned, stay balanced, stay true to yourself and to your inner experts and consult with them. Consult, ask as many questions as you need to ask, and just focus forward. The new reality is here. It cannot be here like boom all at once for everyone, because that would create like so much stress. But if you're willing to take a look at that, that's a sign that you're ready. That's a sign that you're already in it and integrating those new changes. And it shows up one thing at a time, one thought at a time, one day at a time, until you're able to look back and realize how far you've come. And that goes for healing as well. If you're in a healing phase, you've really healed when you're able to talk about something without the emotion attached to it, without being angry, sad, or feel that pain that you used to feel about that situation. That's a sign that you've truly healed. Other than that, the divine masculine is now seeing the bigger picture. Awakening to a new reality usually brings a change in perception. So they're now seeing the bigger picture, these spiritual aspects of things in life, in their life. They are making decisions regarding their future, like immediate future, but also like future, like 10 years from now. When I end my life, how do I want to feel? Some people think about that. What I mean by that is some people, they don't care if on their dying deathbed, if they're still having unresolved issues with people or situations. And some people make it a purpose to end their life, finish this life with no regrets, with no unresolved issues, and just, have the capacity to go peacefully. The divine masculine, they're not thinking about their death, but they're aligning themselves to be on their path, on their mission. And for some of them, it was part of their reflection to decide which side are they on, which way to go, which way is the good way, which way is my way. And for a lot of them, that's the first to say, what's my way, instead of what's the way. Which way should I go? And comparing to which way is my way, my path. When you say, what's my path, what's my way, it comes from an inner space. When you go with which path should I take, there's like an external influence there, program of some sort that you're trying to follow. So for a lot of them, they were able to release this, which is awesome, which is great, and they feel much more relaxed about this because they're starting to feel like they found themselves, like they found meaning to their past, their present, and trying to put the meaning into their future. So lots of changes coming for them on all levels. because there's no way that they can go back to what they used to be before. They are anchored into their new reality, and they are still receiving the proper like information and guidance when it comes to that. And depending how fast and what kind of work they're doing, some of them are already ready to take on that new phase, that new challenge, and that new cycle, knowing exactly what they need to do, not knowing necessarily how things are going to go, but knowing what they need to do and where they need to go. And for some of them, they just know that something is coming and that, they're getting ready for that without knowing too much details or paying attention to too many details. So they are remembering their deep roots, remembering very, very, very old past lives, ancient wisdom that was blocked or locked inside of them. And now they're able to access that wisdom, those tools, those teachings, and they are aligning their physical lives to that. Basically, whatever you've done during your awakening, when you started working on your healing, maybe playing with past lives regressions, trying to understand a few things about your present life, a lot of divine masculine have done that. They have, and they remember, and that channel is now open and unlocked. So very good work that they've been doing. And they're going to follow their own path to work on their mission, to keep working on their mission, to keep facing themselves, and to let go of the fears. Earlier, when I was talking about how a lot of them were resisting, it was all mainly related to fears of the unknown, fears of, but I was educated to be this way. If I let go of that, it's going to make a hole, a gap. What am I going to how am I going to fill that gap? And now they don't have that feeling anymore. They're just like, okay, things are the way they are. This is what I'm going to do. These are the decisions that I've made and that I'm going to pursue. They feel more confident, more sturdy into their own power and value, self-value. Because when we let go of fears, we usually have a shift in our own self-value and self-love. And that shift has been made. Again, it's awesome. So lots of things happening and still bubbling in the background. In May, it's going to be what I'm seeing and sensing is how fast things are going to go. So again, maybe you're not going to see that physically all around you, but perhaps in just one aspect of yourself, of your inner life or your life in general. But you're going to notice how, for one string, how fast things are going to go. And all the while, the other things, are following and still progressing. So beautiful month ahead of us that we're going to have in May. And still, if you're a divine feminine, I know that phase can be hard because it's boring, because you've been feeling ready, because you've been feeling like you've been helping, doing all the work, having all this pressure on you. You should start feeling some relief very soon. If you're not already feeling this, you should start feeling like very heavy, dense energy leaving you, and your body reacting differently and feeling a lot calmer in general, a lot. Even amongst this chaos that we're in right now. Stay grounded. keep doing what you're doing, keep doing your work. You're basically holding the foundation of this cycle and of this shift. And it's not a time to go rogue, and it's not a time to just go crazy. It's a time to really stay centered, take and make the proper decisions for yourself. Do not, under any circumstances, go away from your internal guidance, or under no circumstances to listen to anything else but your intuition. It's going to pay a lot if you do, and it's going to be hard if you don't, because you're going to make the wrong decisions. And it's okay when we do. We all make mistakes, and it's okay. And it's never too late to make a different choice and to change things around. But by being very, very centered, this is when you see clearly. It's also a really good time to work physically, and I'm not talking necessarily working out, but working physically in your physical environment to get it ready for this new phase, because something big is coming for a lot of divine feminine. And if they're not physically ready, and I'm not talking about like, oh, I want to be bikini ready for this summer. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about physical life, like the people that you hang out with, the things that you do on a daily basis, how you do things. It's a good time to analyze all of that and start changing whatever is feeling dense or heavy. If it's feeling heavy, it's the major sign that it's not for you anymore and that it's time to release it. That's going to help the divine feminine, masculine. I always get mixed up. It's going to help the divine masculine. Therefore, it's going to help you stay in balance and just stay aligned and just move forward as if, you're very light and as if things are very easy, even though they're not necessarily easy these days. This thing is going to go away. This chaos is going to end at one point. It's going to take some time. I don't think nobody knows how long it's going to take, because at the end of the day, it really depends on how you choose to deal with this. If you're very negative, like a lot of people that I've been seeing, they're bored, they're having a hard time, blah, blah, blah. Sure, yes, I get that. But you always have a choice to try to see the positive of things instead of seeing the silver lining, instead of, oh, I'm bored. It's going to take time before everything goes back to full function, like 100% capacity. It's going to take time. It's going to take months. I think that everything will roll out slowly, one thing after the other, and it's part of that change and that shift. Because if we go back to opening everything back up all at once, I believe that too many people will just forget what we've just been through. And that's not the point. This is a change that is here to stay. And you're probably feeling all of the new ways that are now available to us, and the new you, basically. The new you. So we'll see in May, we're going to see deeper layers of that new self. And I was talking about the pace, how things are going to go faster in May. A lot of people right now are experiencing weird stuff with time and weird synchronicities. Weird stuff with time, as if your perception of time is totally changing. Whatever used to take you a long time is probably taking you like a lot faster than you ever imagined. And the other way around too. Whatever used to take you no time at all, you're probably taking more time to do it, because you're into that awareness and mindfulness of things. So you're perception and relationship to time is different, and also to synchronicities. I think it's in my last video that I was mentioning how there is no delay in between the spiritual side of things and physical side of things, for a lot of people at least. That's what I'm referring to. Those synchronicities, I think like soon enough, we're not going to be using that word anymore because it's going to be a common thing. I've just experienced this a few minutes ago with a friend of mine where I sent him a video and he was like, oh, that's funny that you sent me this. On Friday, I'm recording a podcast and that's what we're talking about. And, you know, that's not a coincidence. It was just a video that I watched and I was like, oh, I need to send this to him. It was obvious what I needed to do, probably because he has something to pick up in that video. And he wasn't surprised to be receiving this. And that's the whole unified field theory that we're living in. I picked up on the fact that he's recording a podcast on this. So I ended up watching the video and I felt guided to send it to him. It's a two-way thing. I picked up on it, but he was also the transmitter of this, because he probably was thinking about his podcast on Friday. And now there's no delay between these things. It's a real life thing that we're in right now. We all have the ability to integrate this into our lives if only we let it happen. If only whenever your inner experts are telling you, hey girl, hey dude, do this and do that, and you don't know why, if you only listen to that, then you understand why. And the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature to you, the more it becomes your nature, because it is our true nature and essence, like old ancient wisdom teachings. We all, had that at one point and it was lost, and now it's coming back. So we need to welcome this in our lives and do it, put it into practice. And in May, that pace is going to be a lot faster than it is now. It's going to be like crazy, like dreamlike kind of energy of, oh, I was just thinking about this and then boom, it happens. Just remember a few years ago when people were talking about the event, that's what they were saying. How manifestation would be faster, how telepathy would be like instant or a common thing, and like it goes further than that. Some people were saying other kinds of stuff, but we're in it. We're here. It's right here. It's only that we need to reach out to that and play around with it and learn how to work with it, really. So beautiful things are coming. So don't despair if things are heavy on your side or dense. Just hang in there. Have faith. And stand on the positive side, and you'll see things will all get back into place. And your life, your new life, is going to be very different and also very good. So, not a time to give up. So thank you for being here and listening. You can follow me on social media at IndigoGirl555 on Instagram, Indigo Girls Readings on Facebook, and you can also use my email to get in touch at indigogirl555@gmail.com. And until the next time, be well.